On this episode, we're getting deeper into me so that we can truly become besties, right? In this episode, I talk about the things that I'm struggling with between good and gifts. I talk about my purpose, and I talk about a book that I'm reading that currently is changing my perspective on how I approach all aspects of life. I'm Claudia, and welcome to She Built Success, your bold moves bestie in action. Let's get started. All right, so we're gonna go a little bit deeper into me today and really, become true besties, get to know me and understand what I'm about, how I tick. And I'd love for you to continue to just tune in, listen, tag me on social so that we can have that conversation and communication together. So a little bit more about me. As you get to know me, I am definitively a type A personality. I love frameworks and checklists. I love systems and processes. I love order and structure. Now, that being stated, I have plenty of copyrights for the types of frameworks and structure as a company and organization that helps us work with clients. But on the softer side, I actually like to color code things and keep things in order. I think that's sat with me since I was a little kid. I can remember my mom telling me one time I went to go babysit a neighbor's kids, and they were like, I came back, I was like, Mom, their towels are color coded, like burgundies with burgundies, blue with blues. I mean, when I was coming up, it was like you just fold the towels, put them in the linen closet, it's a wrap. It's not until I started reflecting to think about, how is it that I like to do Excel and I like Airtable. Airtable is my go-to to organize everything from what you're listening to now all the way to finances on the personal and professional side. I try to think about like, have I always been this way? Did I learn it? No, I just naturally like to be able to gravitate to things that make sense, make structure. Now, that being stated, the irony of all this is I don't necessarily speak linearly. So I have the thoughts in my mind, but then sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go from point A to point C to point B, jump down to Z, and then bring you back to D. And you'll probably be like, what the hell is she talking about? But I promise you, it will make sense as we continue to get to know each other. So, Bold Moves Bestie, tell me a little bit about you. What is something that you like to do that lights you up, that really defines who you are? I find that for me, I'm in a season of just becoming deeper in my faith and understanding what that means and pulling out my purpose and looking at my gifts versus what I'm good at. And I found that the gray area for me right now is defining gifts versus what I'm good at. And here's what I mean. So from middle school, I knew I was going to study IT. I was going to study IT because I knew it paid because I was about that money. And so that's what I did. I went into college, and in my undergrad and grad, I ended up getting my degree in IT, respectively, business and IT. I found that data has always been a thing for me. Like, I love researching. I love numbers. I do not like statistics. Let's just put that out there right now. Don't. I took a stats course in college. I had to take it twice. The first time I had to audit it because it was just a no-go. And the second time it was like, come on, I barely eked out. So stats is not my jam. However, data, research, reading, understanding patterns, that's something that I truly enjoy. It makes me happy. I actually learn in color. Color and mnemonics is how I learn. And I learned that in college. And I'm saying all this because I'm literally in a season, like I said, where I'm parsing between what's gift and what's I'm really good at. And I'm listening more closely to what my close circle is telling me, what those that I trust are telling me that they see. And it's not even me prompting to say, hey, what am I good at? I know what I'm good at. I'm good at strategy. I'm good at keeping systems and things in organization. I'm good at data, and I'm good at finding patterns, research, uncovering things like that. But it's really honing into that next level, because for me, I don't want to squander my time here on earth. Life is short. And if you're just tuning in, I'll give you a quick recap of a little bit more about my in-depth. So I was born a preemie. I was born 1 pound, 12 ounces, 9 inches long. I like to joke and say I was conceived a Leo, so I was supposed to be born first week of August. But, I had other plans, and I came out a Taurus, so I was born in April. But I believe that a lot of that has to do with timing and God's timing. And so it's important to me to walk in my purpose and be very clear on what those gifts are versus what I'm good at. And so I'd leave you with, or ask you to think about, what is it that you're good at? What are your gifts? And I'm not talking about the fruits of the Spirit. I mean, that's part of it. But really, what is it that underpins your purpose here? Why are you here? Because I promise you, it's not just to collect a check. That much I can promise you. Is it to pour into others? And if so, how? So that's where I'm at. So I know this is like, I really want you to get a little better handle on me. I'm kind of like sometimes a Cracker Jack box, and I might be dating myself in age, but that's okay. Back in the day, the Cracker Jack box used to come in like this little rectangle box thingy, and it's caramel popcorn, and on the inside there was a prize. So you can get like a stamp or a sticker thing, or a holographic thing. I don't even know if they make that anymore, but the point being, it's always like a surprise. And so I'm sure as we continue to just have these conversations and I continue to share more about me, you'll be able to think a little bit more about you. And I understand that everything I say will not always resonate, and I'm okay with that. But I really believe that being in alignment with who I am, this podcast was intended for the multifaceted woman. I am not just a one person. I am not just a mom. I'm not just a student pilot. I'm not just a partner. I am not just a nonprofit founder or just a CEO. I am all of those, and it's okay to be all of those. But one thing I found in trying to determine what I'm good at versus my gifts, my purpose, and why I am here, it's okay to not know. But sometimes you got to be quiet and silent and listen. I had mentioned about friends and listening to those that are close to me with what I'm good at and what that uncovered. Like I say data, like I've always led with I'm a data person, and I am. But I feel like sometimes that while I am a data person, that's what I'm good at, but I don't think that's my gift. And I think coming to terms with that has a bit of a struggle for me because I was always chasing, well, I still do, the money. God's working with me, but I lead with that. But at the same time, I don't devalue myself. I know what I'm worth, and I don't want you to devalue yourself, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a stay-at-home mom. Never devalue yourself. Know your worth and go for it. Don't set the bar low. I know I've talked about things like when it is you're looking for a position or a role, or you're trying to price yourself out, do some research. I mean, you don't need to be a master Googler, but I mean, go to Google and check out what's going on in your space and understanding what that is, and then bump it up a little bit, because I can promise you it's being underreported. But back to purpose and gifts. For me, some of how I'm uncovering that in this season is reading. So I'm reading a book called The Garden Within by Dr. Anita Phillips, and I'm still in the midst of reading it, so I'm not going to front like I'm completely finished. But the parallels, and I'm not going to totally spoil it because like I said, I'm not completely finished, but the parallels that she draws in the book really, for me, has me thinking and meditating and just wanting to make sure that I'm going down the right path without completely derailing everything. Because I have a tendency, as you'll learn, to want to be in control. That is just, I know that is me. And I'm trying to figure out, is that a gift or I'm good at it? There has to be structure, right? But at the same time, I can't always be in control, and I understand that. And so there's submission that has to happen. And so being submitted is not an issue for me. Here's how it really goes, and this is exactly how I talk. All right, dude. So I'm working on this submission thing. And if there's anything in me that is not what you have for me, not your will for me, take it away. Like that's how it goes, like literally. Hey, it's your Bold Moves bestie, and I'm here to help you unlock your business potential. We're offering VIP strategy days. We are able to come through, help with the strategy, systems, and framework in your business to build processes to give you that firm foundation to get you from shift to scale. So if you're interested, go visit shebuiltsuccess.com and sign up so that we can get started on moving boldly forward together. I am not a flowery prayer person. That's just not my jam. I'm like, you hear me now, is how I talk to God. Now, there's respect across the board, but sometimes I'll be mad. I'm not even gonna front. Sometimes I'll be mad. Let me tell you something. Okay, see, this is the A to Z thing I was telling you about, how I jump around in conversations. So every year I have a word, and I pray for the word. I ask, is this the way I should go? And I've been doing this since 2015. I will say up until about 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, I was doing it with just whatever word came to mind, but I wasn't talking to God to be like, hey, dude, what should the word be? Or what should my theme be for this coming season? Right now, as we speak, I remember getting this word last year, and I was like, dude, really? Like this, and that is literally what I said. I was like, no, that's not the word. That's it's whack. That's not, because in the past it's been like inspiration and evolution, and there's been a couple other ones, but those are ones that I wasn't seeking him to be able to determine what that was going to be. And this time around, in the past, like I said, the past few years, but this particular word for this year, I was like, I don't like that one. It's not cute. It's not like sexy. Are we sure? And what I received was, with this word, it will be uncovered as the year goes by. And I'm like, well, what the hell does that mean? Yes, I did say that. Told you, I don't flowery stuff. It's really a conversation. But I was trying to understand what that meant. And what I got back was, you need to make sure that as you're studying, so I have devotional time every morning. If I miss it in the morning, I try to do it at some point in my day, but I try to do it first thing in the morning before everybody's up and all the activities. And it was, as we're doing these devotionals, you will see. Like, that's basically what it was. I was like, okay, well, I guess we'll see. So I'm in the process of still seeing what the fruition of this word, but being submitted to not knowing. I don't know. And it was kind of the irony of it all, right? I just talked at the top of this talking about, I'm okay with being submissive, but I'm also controlling. So that's something that I'm working on. But I feel like all of this is tracking towards the purpose and my purpose and what I'm good at versus my gifts. And so as we talk one-on-one, as guests come on, we're going to continue to just unwrap what it means to be in your gift, what it means to be good at something, and not to settle. Oh my gosh. Do you know how many people I see settle? It is so flippin' frustrating. Let me tell you something. I get excited when people that I speak with and work with have an excitement about what they do. If they don't care, then that means they need to move on. That's how I feel. Because that means that whatever they're doing is not fulfilling. And I get it. There's going to be tasks and things that we don't really like to do. How I don't like to do, I could wash laundry. I don't like to put it away. Like right now I got like 4 baskets of clothes that I need to go put away, but it needs to get done. But on a serious note, like, it frustrates me to see people just not wanting more in life. And I know why it frustrates me, because I feel like everybody's put on this earth to serve out a purpose. Whether you believe in God, I mean, I would like you to, but if you don't, to each his own. But to fulfill and serve their purpose, and if you just squander it away with crap that you don't like, well, what next? Even if you take a little bit of time to just reflect on, what do you enjoy doing and what makes you happy? Just because I'm good at something doesn't mean it's my gift. That's where I'm at right now. And as I continue this walk, continue my devotional time, pray about it, I feel like things are slowly being revealed. Like, I have something that I have been saying no to for a lot of years. And I've been vocally saying no to many people for a lot of years. And God's like, this is it. At least I think. I'm still waiting for confirmation. But I feel like he's like, you've been saying no to this, but you need to step into this. And for me, I am not a fearful person. I'm a confident person. And this one, I'm apprehensive, not because I don't have faith, but because I want to be sure that this is the right way to go. This is the right path. Yeah, we're still working on it. I'd say I'm about 80% there. And God's like, Pimpin', if you don't get on this train, like, let's go. I have a feeling that's what he's saying. It's me. I'm the trouble area right now. We'll see where that goes. I'll come back and update y'all a little bit later. But for now, we'll see where it goes. I'm trying to be obedient and submissive and doing the right thing. But for me, this one is an unknown. And I know why it is. Like I said, I knew from middle school I was doing IT and I did it. I still do it for clients in the data side. But this one here, this new thing-ish, kind of new, is something that I'm trying to embrace. How about, let's just say that. I'm trying to embrace it because I don't know how it looks. It feels a bit like a jelly blob or something. It's not structure to it. So all that to say, I'm trying to drive home the what you're good at versus your gift, because I don't want you to squander your talents or squander what you've been gifted with on trivialities or things that don't make sense. Maybe it makes sense to you right now in this season, but I promise you, if it's something that you're gifted with, it'll keep pushing on you. So for me, understanding and accepting the submission to what I'm called to do is where I'm at. And I feel like I want to continue to bring you all with me as I figure this out. So it's not always going to be nice, neat, and in a package or, with a bow, but sometimes it'll be a little bit deconstructed. Deconstructed entrees and stuff is a thing now. So it's a little bit deconstructed as we go down this journey together. But I want you to think about how you're being impacted or what impact you're bringing to the world or to your space, to your circle, to your family, to your friends, to your coworkers, or whatever environment you're in. Because with that, I promise you'll see a pattern of the gifts and a pattern of what you're good at. So as I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like, what that means for me, I encourage you to think about what that means for you as well. Because if one thing is for sure, success is not built alone. You cannot be by yourself. Get in a community so that you can support each other, so that you can be there for each other, so you can bounce ideas off. No shady stuff. I'm not about that life over here, but just something that you're not just sitting there in isolation thinking about for your own self. You need to build and be in that community. I know I mentioned earlier about, being a preemie and just, why I feel like I have this really strong desire to just go. Like I push go a lot, sometimes to a fault. But the other part is life's short. For those of you who may not have known, or you might need to run it back to a few episodes ago, but my husband passed in 2011, and that was sudden. And I was, at the time, my girls were both under the age of 3, and I was 28. And we were not expecting that. There's a different perspective when I've had friends and family members pass in the past, but this one was different. And it wasn't that I was being careless with my time here on earth. It just makes you more in tune and more aware, especially when there's, for me, my girls involved. And so I just encourage you, again, think about what you're good at and your gifts are. What are the things that light you up and make you happy? If you want to exercise, because I know there's some kinesthetic learners, my younger one's a kinesthetic learner, you can get note cards and you can write down, like when you're doing something that you like, write it on one color note card and put it in a pile. When you're doing something that you hate, write it on another color and put it in another pile. And then over time, you'll see a pattern, you'll see trends. What do I really like versus what's like, deuces, we ain't doing that. Like me, doing my QuickBooks stuff? No sir, no ma'am, not interested. Even though I like data, I told y'all stats was in my jam. Neither's finance. I just like to make the money. So there's that. Do that exercise and see what comes out of it. What do you get? And I'd say, if you want, let's put some parameters on it, right? Let's say over the next week, put the stack together. What are the things that you really like doing versus you could live without it? And see where those patterns are and think of how it makes you feel. If you want a bonus exercise, totally tag me. Take a couple pictures of your cards, tag me on social, and let me know that you did that. I'd love to share as well, just the progress that you make. And if you got any ahas, any takeaways, I'd also like to hear that. I like feedback. I don't like sitting here basically talking to myself. It's kind of weird to me, but it needs to be said. I love talking, but I think it needs to be said. So think about it. Good versus gifts. Like and subscribe on iTunes or whatever your podcast platform of choice is so that we can continue to bring the content that you like forth. I'll catch you on the next episode of She Built Success.